We're doing top dog things here in Kansas City. Uh, let's get to an update for our beloved Chiefs team, and I mean the Royals are loved, but not beloved. We're talking about new stadium and renovations to Arrowhead Stadium. The vote, people for of Jackson County, is on April the 2nd. Now, we're not going to tell you which way to go about it. We don't care. I mean, we do care. We want them to stay in Kansas City, but regardless of what happens, these teams will be staying in Kansas City because there is a county in Kansas or Missouri that will pay for one, if not both of the teams. But what's currently going on is there's less than a decade left on the Truman Complex center lease for both teams. The Royals want to move. They want to go to a downtown stadium that's going to probably bring in a lot of revenue for the city, but there's a lot of things that are going to have to happen with the new stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs want to stay in Arrowhead, but they need to make some renovations. They're not willing to put a roof on. Clark Hunt has said that and has been saying that. They're not willing to put a roof on. They want play in the elements.
Why would
Arrowhead
you
will
want to put a
never.
roof on when you have a snow game quarterback?
That's a good question.
He has been very vocal about he loves snow games.
You do get a little bit more action at the stadium if you have a roof, whether it's retractable or not. You have the ability to potentially bring in a Super Bowl. You have the ability to host more concerts and other events.
I don't
Um,
need a Super Bowl in Kansas City if we keep winning them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It'd be nice, but there's a lot of things going on, and what's currently being asked of the citizens of Jackson County is an extension of the 3/8 tax that's already in place. It would go on for a very long time, but basically what happens is if you vote yes and it gets passed, Jackson County civilians, is that if it gets passed, they will revoke the current tax that is in place because the current tax states that all of the money only goes to the Truman complex. So they would revoke that tax, enact the new tax that states that the money would go towards the Truman complex for the Chiefs and the new site for the Kansas City Royals. If no, then Royals are basically left with zero amount of time to get another deal done at the Truman Sports Complex. They'll either need to, or excuse me, they'll almost have zero time to do a new stadium deal in Jackson County. So they will either need to come up with something for the K, or they will need to find a new location, whether that's in Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, or in a completely different area. The Chiefs will have a little bit of time to work around a new deal that will happen at the Truman Sports Complex. If not, Mark Donovan, the president of the Kansas City Chiefs, for the last 2 years has already talked about leaving Jackson County. And Kansas has been offering to buy out their lease, pay for a brand new stadium, sell land to the Hunt family, pennies on the dollar, and give all professional sports teams in the state of Kansas tax revenue from the taxes from sports gambling. So those are your options. Jackson County, that's what happens. If you vote yes, perfect. You have a brand new baseball park that's downtown, and the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium, the Arrowhead Stadium, gets the renovations that they're asking for. If you vote no, you will 100% be losing the Kansas City Royals in Jackson County. You probably have a 50-50 shot of keeping the Kansas City Chiefs in Jackson County.
So realistically, what option do the Royals have if they vote no? Like, where are the Royals gonna go?
Uh,
The Royals in KCK doesn't sound as appealing as the Chiefs in KCK. You know?
Most likely that won't happen. The Royals moving to the Kansas side. It's possible. I'm not going to say it's out of the realm of possibility. It's there, but they wouldn't be getting the deal in on the Kansas side that the Chiefs would be getting. They would also be losing the ability to be downtown You can go outside of Jackson County and still kind of have that downtown. They've been talking about Claycomo up in the northern portion of Kansas City. You're definitely out of downtown. That's not a place where you want to go, but I don't think the new ownership really cares where it goes, if it even stays in Kansas City, if they do not get a new ballpark. It could
Like
stay. They've talked about going
Kansas
to the
City
north side.
loses a Major League
Yeah,
Baseball
Kansas
team.
City loses a major league baseball team. It's highly possible. If there is a no vote on April 2nd for the tax, ba- again, basically it's just an extension. The language says it's a new tax. It's an extension of the current tax. If
Right.
there is a no, Kansas City, I would say, in my mind, the way I've seen these things play out in other cities, you have an 80% chance of losing the Kansas City Royals.
Now, hear me out. Patrick Mahomes being a partial owner of the Kansas City Royals kind of throws a wrench in this to me, but losing the Royals wouldn't be detrimental to the city, and it would leave room, or at least more room, for a fucking NBA team to come in.
Dog, bring them in.
Bring
That
them
that's
in.
a whole nother bag of questions. Um, because if I remember
Well, because if
correctly,
we lose a major sports team like that, the fans are going to be clamoring for something else.
yeah, but the fans of Kansas City have been clamoring for an NBA team for a while. You have to wait for the expansion because
But
teams are
there's
not moving, which is coming up, and we could get an NBA team regardless of losing the Royals or not.
I
Kansas
don't think
City
so.
is a
I think our chances are much less being we got Sporting, we got the Royals, we got the Chiefs. I
Sporting is
think
technically on the Kansas side.
still it's a Kansas City team, man.
Sure, I don't disagree. I think there's still a good opportunity for the city to get an NBA team without losing the Royals. The only caveat to that is where are you going to put a new basketball stadium? Because T-Mobile's not selling, and if I remember correctly, NBA teams have to have a large portion of ownership of the arena that they're in. If not, they own the whole arena. And T-Mobile is not selling. That's been one of the stronghold points for an NBA team not coming to Kansas City is you're not putting them in Kemper. Kemper isn't also getting rebuilt. You're not rebuilding or
It's not
selling
Kemper anymore.
T-Mobile.
It's the Hy-Vee Arena. You fuck.
Doesn't matter. Piece of junk anyways. And there's nowhere to put a new
Watch your
stadium.
mouth.
There's nowhere to put a new arena, and you're not tearing down the Royals Stadium, the K, to put in an arena when the Chiefs definitely don't want that. They want the Truman Complex all to themselves.
I'm not
I
very familiar with the whole entire Kansas City stuff, but I don't care about the Royals. Send them packing, bringing in an NBA team. Missouri needs a basketball team. The Midwest needs a basketball team besides the Thunder.
it's been less than a decade since we won a fucking World Series. God damn it!
I don't care. Bring me basketball.
What Tybo, what do you think? Have you been keeping up with the Royals' antics at all? Basically, where they're looking at putting the new downtown stadium is where the old Star building currently is. The
I don't even think I know where that is.
so you've got T-Mobile, and then you've
Yeah.
got the highway, and then you've got the big glass building off to the side of the highway.
Right off 70?
Yeah,
They're putting it right there.
that's basically where they're looking at putting it because the renderings of the stadium show a walkway because there's a lot of parking over by T-Mobile, parking at T-Mobile, having a sky bridge from T-Mobile all the way over, walk, and then literally at the K. You can just walk in the gates right there. And then you can walk back. You've got the nightlife all down at P&L and everything else that goes on.
Like
This is going
you're
to be like
basically
a
like a short walk from P&L.
yeah, you're probably a 10-minute walk away from P&L. This obviously will also revamp the entire rail car or free transportation system that is
Metro.
around Kansas City, the metro, everything that's going on. There's going to be a massive revamp for pretty much everything that's downtown that would take place over the next 4 or 5 years. And that's why this deal has to get a yes on April 2nd, because if it's a no, there's no longer enough time for the Kansas City Royals to come up with another idea to get it on a ballot, to get it approved again in time for them to actually be able to start things so that they can get into the new stadium before the deal is finished at the Truman Complex. Or the
So they're
lease.
basically putting all their eggs in one basket, hoping for it. If not, see ya.
I guarantee they have more plans than this. Like they've got back plans going on, right? If this is a no, hey, play Como, no, Kansas City North, and if they don't want that, there's going to be another city out there somewhere that will take a major league sports team.
Listen, if all of this information is not readily available, but like kind of like pushed to the Kansas City public, I think there's enough people in Kansas City that fucking hate construction that would vote this no. I'm just telling you. I hear when I lived there, I've heard plenty of people, and it's like the natural order of the Midwest, right? Like there's just so much construction and I don't know,
That's just the
road
cities,
changes.
no matter what.
Yeah, but there's something different about those Midwest cities, okay? Like I don't know. We get fucking we see red at the sight of an orange cone. But
Yeah.
I think going to Clay Como per se would be absolutely detrimental to the Kansas City Royals. Their only other option outside of downtown, and that's if they don't have the balls to move to KCK, which that's a whole nother conversation about Missourians and like the difference between Kansas City, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri. Their only other option is North Kansas City. And there is plenty of room in North Kansas City to get it done. There's fucking abandoned buildings, there's abandoned warehouses that could be cleared out, and plenty of space for a parking lot and a stadium. They found the smallest bit of fucking river coastline for the women's soccer team stadium just on the other side of North Kansas City. If you literally place the Kansas City Royal Stadium like on the other side of that river, there's plenty of space for it.
And you could build up around it. I think you
Promise.
could. And that's kind of what they're looking at. That's kind of what they're looking at.
But don't fucking touch Clay Como, man.
That'd be a bad call.
That'd be a terrible fucking decision.